Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Love and Light Tarot. I hope everyone is doing well. Today, I have a very different video for all of you. This is not a tarot reading, but this is, in fact, a video to explain different kinds of tarot decks and how I select my decks, how I take care of them, how I bond with them. The idea behind this particular video today is recently I received a request on Instagram from one of my followers. Unfortunately, I do not remember her name. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, please drop a comment and let me know that you have watched this video. This is specifically for you and for everybody who is interested in tarot cards. You could be learning tarot reading, you could be a tarot reader yourself, maybe just drawing cards for guidance for you, for your family, for your friends, or a professional reader. It doesn't matter. If you are interested in tarot cards, this one is for you. Okay, so you can pause the video, grab your favorite beverage, let's have a chat for some time. I'm going to show you a lot of decks. This is probably going to take a little bit of time, so if you're interested, just relax. um, Go get a cup of coffee or anything that you like, and we'll get started with the tarot decks. Okay, so I'm going to explain. Where do I start? Okay, so basically I'm going to show you some of the decks that I have here. I have lots of them and I do love collecting tarot decks. Now, if you know already, tarot decks are not really that cheap. Okay, some of them can be like really expensive, and it is an investment. Okay, it is an investment. Now, investment is not always in terms of like, you want to start your business or things like that. But what I mean to say is that this is like having a friend for a lifetime. Okay. You need to start looking at tarot cards as your friends, your mentors, your guides. Okay. Somebody who's going to help you in your tarot reading journey. Now, when I mention friends, all of us have acquaintances, all of us have friends, all of us have best friends, right? Not every friend has the same kind of personality. Somebody is very feisty, somebody is, an extrovert, somebody is an introvert, somebody is, sometimes a little pessimistic, while the other person could be like extremely optimistic about everything in life, very cheerful, very chirpy, will not show you their dull side ever. And then there are others who are, probably very blunt, very harsh with their words. They are all your friends, okay, or treat them like your family members. No two personalities can ever be identical. It's the same with tarot cards. Okay, it's literally the same with tarot cards. So this deck has a very different personality than this deck, and then this one has a completely different personality as compared to this one, right? So the more you start connecting with your intuition is basically when you start connecting with your cards. Now, there are some readers who get very excited and they start buying a lot of new tarot decks because they find them extremely pretty and attractive, and they want to have a large collection of tarot decks, but they don't really know how to select the best deck when they do a reading. Or they have probably started their own tarot reading journey professionally, and they don't know which deck to pick up for which client. It's a real problem because, listen, I'm not being nasty here, I'm not being judgmental, I don't want to discourage you, but if you're having issues with these basic things like, which deck should I pick up for which client, it means that you need more practice and more intuition before actually getting into tarot reading professionally. Let me be very honest. Okay, I do not mean to look down upon any tarot reader. I do not mean to question their knowledge or anything like that. But if you are having basic problems where you don't know which tarot deck to pick, it clearly means that you have not bonded well with your tarot deck as a reader. Your intuition still needs a lot of work. Now, intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger and fitter it gets. Think about your body, think about the muscles in your body. If you do not use certain parts of your body, they become weak, they become limp. Okay, the muscles become really weak. But if you go for a walk every day, or if you are constantly using those muscles, like let's take for example your leg muscles, if you never go for a walk, if you never have any kind of movement in your body, naturally those muscles are going to waste away. But the more you use them, the stronger they get. Now your intuition is something that you have to keep working on every single day, and intuitively you will understand which deck is calling out to you. So if you are having problems there at that basic level where you just don't know which tarot deck is calling to you, it means that you have not bonded well, or you have not really connected intuitively with your tarot deck. And in a situation like this, you need to take a step back from your professional tarot readings, and you need to work on your own intuition. You need to work on your own bonding with your cards before you start accepting professional tarot sessions for other people. Okay, I cannot sugarcoat these things. Okay, I'm a little blunt when I say these things, so no offense to anybody, but this is what it is. Okay, tarot reading is not a joke. It's an unpopular opinion that I'm going to say, but a lot of people who attend these 3-day workshops and 5-day workshops on Instagram, and suddenly think that by doing this 3-day or 10-day workshop, I'm now a tarot reader and I can start earning a good amount of money, and I can start doing very well as a professional tarot reader. I'm going to burst your bubble. You can learn the meanings of the cards, or you can understand the theory of tarot cards and all that in these workshops, but unless and until you have your own intuition and you have a connect with your cards, all that theory is just going to be theory. So when you start reading cards for other people, if you're just going to pick up one card and say, oh, this is magician, this is XYZ that I had learned in my tarot class, and now I'm going to parrot those lines, I'm going to read from my notes, and I'm going to say, okay, you have got the magician card, so you have everything going for yourself, you have all the power, you have all the knowledge, the resources to do whatever you want in life, and all the theory that comes with the magician card. During the class, if you're just going to read it out mechanically, it doesn't make sense. You have to pick up another card, you have to see with the 4 of cups. Okay, so you have to see which card is coming after the magician card, which card is coming before the magician card, and then you have to string it along into a proper sequence or a proper context, and for that you need your intuitive powers. Your theory is not going to work there. So now when I have the Ace of Pentacles before magician and I have 4 of cups, the entire context is different if I just switch these cards. The sequence of the cards, the context in which you are asking the question, is extremely important. By just switching these 3 cards, the entire meaning of the reading changes completely. 4 of cups talks about disappointment, confusion, not knowing how to go ahead, not knowing what to pick. Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning. So in this sequence, I can say that the Four of Cups is where, in the past you may have been disappointed about something, you may have been stuck somewhere, you were disappointed with the options given to you, but then you decided to, strengthen your own resources, your knowledge, your own capacity, your capability to do things, and you are starting afresh. You're making a brand new beginning and you're moving towards progress. You're moving towards a lot of financial abundance and growth and prosperity. The same three cards, if I change the sequence or if I change the circumstances, it could be like, you were previously on the path of success. You were previously doing very well for yourself. Your business was flourishing. Your career was flourishing. But somebody or something came in the way where they used all their power and they used all their resources against you, which left you in a situation of confusion, disappointment, and now you don't know what to do with your career. Now you don't know what to do with this, because somebody, the magician, is also a trickster energy. The magician is an energy of manipulation also. If you don't know that intuitively, or if you don't know these kind of intricacies, the entire reading is going to go wrong. This can probably get a little boring for those who are not too interested in the technical details. So I think this explanation is enough, because otherwise, it will get really technical and very, very boring for you. So let's go back to the tarot decks. This one here is my personal tarot deck. This is absolutely sacred to me, okay? The original Rider Waite tarot deck. This is the very first deck that I purchased when I started learning and I started doing tarot. You can see, the condition of the cards. Actually, I have maintained it beautifully, because this is, like I said, it's absolutely sacred to me, okay? So this is one tarot deck that I use only for myself, and this is my best friend, my mentor, my guide, and everything. um, the way I bonded with this deck and every deck after that is, basically, I used to hold it in my hands, I used to talk to it, I used to, take guidance. I used to keep this deck under my pillow for a few days. Of course, after cleansing it, after energizing it, you cannot just purchase it from Amazon or wherever and start using it. There is a procedure where you cleanse the cards and regularly, take care of them as if you're taking care of a baby, basically, or a child, or, your family member. Okay. So this is where I actually started, and I don't generally use this deck for any other reading. It is only for my personal guidance. Okay. Now coming back to the other decks that you see here, these are just few of them. I'm going to show you again. The imagery is absolutely beautiful. So when you select a tarot deck, the first thing that you have to do again is go back to your own intuition and see the cards that are calling out to you the most. So let's say you are scrolling on a website and there are around 50 options, okay? 50 different decks that you can see on the website, and there is that one which instantly draws your attention and you're like, this one, I want this one because this is so pretty, it's so beautiful, it's calling out to me. When you keep scrolling on the website, or when you keep scrolling and seeing different tarot decks, and you cannot take your attention off a particular tarot deck, no matter how much you scroll, or you keep clicking next, and you're still thinking about that one tarot deck which you had seen earlier, and you just can't get it out of your mind, that is a clear indication that the tarot deck is calling out to you. It's saying, pick me, pick me, pick me, you need me, you need me. Okay, so that is a clear indication that your intuition is working, and there is something which is pulling you or drawing you towards that particular tarot deck. So that is when you know that you are connecting intuitively with that deck, because there are so many options, but some of them we just do not even bother to open, because we feel that, no, 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 this, no, it's not going to work, I don't like this. It could be the color, it could be the design, it could be the way that deck is presented, whatever. It might seem very shallow, but that's not really a very shallow thing, because when you're checking through a lot of tarot decks, and when you cannot take your eyes off that one deck, it clearly means something. Okay, so that is how I have collected all these tarot decks. I'm very choosy about the decks. Okay, I generally keep it in my wish list. I go back to it, I see the images again and again, or I see whether I'm connecting. Now I'm going to flip these cards and show you the images, okay, so you will know what I'm talking about. Now this is the King of Wands here, this is the Four of Cups here. We have different images, we have different interpretations. Now I will show you how this works. Okay, now some of these cards, as you can see, are extremely bright, extremely lively. Okay, they're funny, they're cute, they're quirky. Okay, these are all similar to the traditional Rider-Waite deck. Okay, the basic meanings are the same. Okay, so when you say Ace of Pentacles, the basic image or the theory has to be the same. There is a hand coming out of the clouds, it's holding one pentacle, there are mountains and trees, the same kind of theme basically that an original tarot deck has, the Rider-Waite. But the difference here is the message or the print, the message that is coming through it. Okay, now just go back a few seconds to where I was talking about the different types of friends that we have. Okay, there are some who are very sweet, very gentle, they will say what they want to say in the most gentle way possible. Okay, then there are those who are like extremely blunt, and their words might feel like a slap across your face. But that tough love is necessary at times, correct? That tough love is required. So when we talk about tough love, this deck specifically is the one that gives the most tough love. You can see the colors that are used, you can see the images that are used. Okay, this is dark, this is like really dark. You can see the images, even the cards which have a very positive meaning also are made in a way which is very, very how do I say, it's like, there's nothing bright basically. The sun card, yeah, exactly, I was talking about brightness, and we have the sun card here. Now that is the uh, happiest card in the tarot deck, but if you still see the print, if you still see the color scheme on this card, it's not all that bright as compared to this deck. See the imagery here, we have King of Wands. Good, I wanted to compare the two. So now we have King of Wands here, we have King of Wands here also. It depends on your intuition how you interpret these two cards. Okay, because there are certain subtle things which only a seasoned tarot reader will understand. There are a few subtle differences or subtle meanings that only a very, very seasoned tarot reader will be able to interpret. This person here has a flame and there is a cross over that flame. Whereas the same King of Wands card, this person has a flame in his hand and he's looking at it directly, thinking about what to do next. King of Wands is a very passionate energy, right? But if you see this card, the person is looking straight at you with a kind of assertive stance, right? One hand is on the waist in a very assertive stance, the other hand is like explaining something to you very assertively, with the crown on their head, the two wands here, the sun is shining bright, and there's a lot of passion in his heart and inside him basically. And that passion is, it's like, listen to me, I'm telling you something. The same card here is more of a contemplative mode, where this person is not really directly looking at you. This person is contemplating something. This person here, the king, doesn't actually look like a king. Okay, we see a crown here, there is no crown here. This is a more casual, more adventurous, a laid back kind of a person who does his own thing, and who's not like, I want this done this way, I want that done this way. So the cards are the same, but the interpretations from those cards can be different, because this person is not telling or instructing anything to anybody like this person here. This is the King of Wands, this is the King of Wands, but look at the stance, look at the aggression, look at the eye contact, look at the posture, the body language in this card, and look at the body language in this card. This one is like more into his own world. He's contemplating, he has a lot of passion, he has a lot of dreams, he wants to fulfill his dreams, he wants to make them a reality, while this one is already very focused, and he's telling you what to do. He's telling you that I'm going to do this, I want you to do that. He's more assertive, he's more of a taskmaster, and this one is more like, what can I do about this, what should I do about it. He's not telling you anything, he's not giving you any instructions. He's more in a contemplative mode about, what should I do, like how do I move forward. Again, I know this is getting very technical for some of you, and probably if you're not interested, you may have already clicked off the video. That's fine. This is specifically made for those people who are learning tarot, or who are actually interested in moving forward, and starting their own tarot consultancy or things like that. What I want to tell you is that this is an endless journey. Okay, no matter how much you learn, there is always something that you can learn more. Okay, so although I have been doing tarot for years, and I have been doing it professionally for years, every single day there is something new that I can learn from this. Every single day there is some new aspect that comes up. Okay, the more you connect with your cards. Now sometimes when I'm just sitting there doing nothing, I pick up one card and I start looking at the images, one small element at a time. And that is how you understand a lot of things about cards, or about what they are trying to convey. So, like for example, the 10 of Pentacles here, or the King of Wands. Again, we have the King of Wands. Now we have 3 here. So let us compare that. We have 3 kings here. Okay, this one is again making some sort of announcement. Okay, there are these small creatures here. Now you might feel that, oh, it's just an image, it doesn't really matter, and it's no big deal, and it's just a tarot card. I mean, what is it going to convey? Every single element here is conveying something. Never ever feel that a tarot card is just something which is printed and it's just a picture. No, what I'll tell you now is something which is much deeper. Okay, so if you study this symbol here at the back of the chair, like this is his symbol, this is the chair that he sits on. Now the king generally sits on a throne. Okay, the king sits on a throne. Now this is a very hard chair that he's sitting on. He has tamed a lion. Okay, he's passionate, he has tamed the lion, he's telling people what to do, he's instructing people what to do. Again, like the same energy we have here, he's instructing, but his gaze is very aggressive. This person is more like, hey there, I'm announcing something, listen. If you see this image, this particular sign here, and this image, okay, this of course has something to do with each other. Now I'm not going to go into those technical details, but very small things like these images here also play a huge role while interpreting your situations in a personal reading. You see these barren mountains here, yeah, you see that they are barren mountains, and this person is sitting in a place which is like probably a, a very dry place where there's not too much of rainfall, not too much of greenery and things like that. Okay, so that again shows a lot, of details about the circumstances that he's in, details about so many things that he has been through. He has been through a lot of tough times, he has been through a hard time in his life to get to where he is, and that is why he's so passionate. If we see the Ace of Pentacles here, there is a lot of prosperity, there's a lot of greenery which is absent here. The pentacle energy clearly signifies financial growth, abundance, and this is actually showing abundance. There is so much of greenery, there is so much of growth, there is so much of liveliness in this card. It is talking about abundance, correct? So these are very subtle differences which you understand only when you practice, and you actually are so involved in your tarot decks. You should know each and every card and each and every element like you know your family member. There is no other way out. Now, for example, the King of Swords. He has a sword here for obvious reasons. He is the King of Swords. Okay, he has a butterfly here, he has butterflies here. Okay, so he is somebody who is in a position of authority, of power. The sword symbolizes authority, power. The sword also symbolizes communication. He communicates exactly what he feels. Now, during that communication, he probably might say something which is harsh, probably might say something which may come across as extremely rude or extremely authoritative, but that is necessary. At the same time, he also has butterflies around. So basically he is a very soft, gentle guy, but he will put up a face, or he will put up a certain demeanor which is extremely powerful, which is very authoritative, because that is what is expected from him. That is what is his personality, that is what he's supposed to do. So technically, now when we see the King of Swords, this is somebody who is in a position of power, authority, in a position where it's something like if you are in the military, if you are a police officer, or something to do with law and order, something to do with a lot of clear communication, instructions, asserting yourself, being extremely fair and ethical and just in your actions, in your words. While this is a very passionate energy, the King of Wands, in his passion, may do certain things which are unethical. Because he's extremely passionate, he just wants to go after what he wants in his life. But the King of Swords will think 10,000 times. Is this ethical? Is this moral? Should I do it? Is it going to be for the benefit of everybody in my organization, in my family, or those people dependent on me? And sometimes, even if he wants to do something, he will not do it, or he will not allow others to do it, because his ethics come in the way. So it can be a good thing to be ethical, but at times it can also be a block. Now, these extremely fine points in somebody's personality or somebody's situation, you can pick up only when you are extremely bonded with your cards and you have a thorough knowledge of the subject. This is not something that you can learn in 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, and then start your own tarot consultancy and say that, oh, I'm a professional and I'm going to take clients. Okay, we have the Two of Coins here. Now again, that is a different story, so let me not get into the technical details. Okay, the main question now, how do you select tarot decks when you want to do a personal reading for somebody, I would suggest just take a step back, connect with your cards, okay? Just spend a few hours, take a deck, look at each card, look at each card, okay? We have the Queen of Pentacles here that just uh, turned out, I just randomly picked up a card and we have Queen of Pentacles here as well. Okay, we have rabbit for prosperity. It's showing a lot of greenery, it's showing a lot of abundance. This is again, it's not gender specific, but this is again showing that this person is nurturing, this person is very caring, this person has cared for this garden here. He's watering the plants regularly, the plants are thriving, there's a new one growing here, there is a lot of abundance. With the bunnies here, they talk about abundance, reproduction, or they talk about taking care of the future basically, and this is exactly what we have here. Now, the imagery is different. When we say don't stay fixated on the gender, it's because we have the Queen of Pentacles here, but this is actually a man sitting here. So that is why we always say, all of us have a male and female energy within us, irrespective of gender. Okay? All of us, what we generally typically call as yin and yang. So never stay fixated on the gender. Even if I pull out a Queen of Pentacles card and there's a man that turns up, it doesn't matter. It's just the energy. Okay. So these are the finer points of the tarot decks. How do you select a deck? I would say if you're confused, you need to take a step back and really work on your own intuition, work on your own studies. I still go and attend random classes and study what other people are doing, how they are interpreting cards. There is no shame in doing that. Please understand that this is a continuous process of learning and growing every single day. There are these elements in every card where you need to really look at it and study it thoroughly. Only then you'll be able to connect with them. So when I pick up decks for a reading, what I generally do is, if I know the client very well, if I know that maybe they have taken a few sessions with me already and I know their basic personality, it is slightly easier for me to pick the deck depending on their personality. There are some clients whose energy is extremely negative, whose energy is extremely pessimistic. I don't mean to judge anybody here, okay? Please don't take it otherwise. I do not mean to disrespect anybody, but yes, there is a difference in everybody's energies, the way they approach things, the way they deal with situations. Okay, so depending on that person, I generally have an idea. After maybe couple of sessions with the same client, I generally have an idea about which deck to pick depending on their personality, because it starts calling out to me. That deck literally starts, oh, this person, I'm doing the reading for this person, I have to pick this deck today. But there are also times when the same client is coming and their energy could be really off. So if there is a client who's typically very chirpy, very cheerful, very happy, an extrovert, and I pick up this nice bright looking yellow happy card deck for that client, generally it is possible that on that specific day the client's energy is really down and low and they are sad or they are angry, and suddenly another deck starts calling out to me. It's like, pick me, pick me, pick me, because this one here, like I said, it's tough love. The imagery is very different. The Six of Cups traditionally is, two people holding a cup, one person is offering that cup to another, and there is a lot of loving energy here. But the Six of Cups, now if you see this, it's not a very pleasant picture. It talks about a trash can, it talks about these flies hovering around the jar, it talks about a tooth that has fallen out. Not a typical Six of Cups reunion, reconciliation card at all. Even if in theory this is the Six of Cups. So if you want to interpret this card, you need to have thorough knowledge of tarot, otherwise you will never be able to interpret this card. So sometimes when this deck starts to pull my attention, I know for a fact that today this client has a very, very down, dull, negative energy. They are probably doing something wrong, or they are probably going wrong somewhere, and they have created a mess in their life with their own actions. They need some tough love, and today this deck is calling out to me. Generally, for that particular client, this deck would have been fine, but today this deck is calling out. It means that there are messages here. One glance at all the decks, and I suddenly feel an extreme pull towards certain tarot cards or certain images. And that is where I know that, this is the energy that I need to connect with today. Like, for example, this deck here, see the cover of this one and see the cover, they're both blue. Okay, they're both blue and they're nice and they're pretty, but the images are very different. We have the 10 of swords here, we have judgment here. uh, Personally speaking, this deck, the everyday witch, is my absolute favorite. Okay, generally speaking, I should not be saying that, because when I say that, they are all like family, you don't pick out your favorite, or you don't stay biased towards somebody. But it happens that you have a special kind of bonding with somebody. It happens even within the family that you're more close to somebody, you're more bonded with somebody. You stay a little away from somebody, or you just don't get along sometimes with someone. It's the same with tarot cards as well. Sometimes I get a lot of irritation when I see certain cards or certain images, like this one here, the 10 of wands. There is a tree growing out of that skull. Okay, this particular image used to really disturb me a lot, because there is something which is very, very negative. Now, 10 of wands itself is a card of uh, you know complete, like, destruction. It's like, okay, that's done, it's over, nothing better is going to come out of this situation, it's done, you need to walk away. The 10 of coins, the 10 of pentacles, what we call generally, is a card which is, very happy, very, like, a card of wish fulfillment. But for some reason, the 10 of pentacles card in the other decks are very positive, very happy, and I don't get the same kind of happiness from this card. The same 10 of pentacles from another deck could be giving me a lot of happiness, but this for some reason does not. If I'm picking up on this card, if I'm picking up on this deck, and I'm seeing this image and I'm not getting a happy energy out of this, or a happy intuition out of this, it clearly means that the client's energy that I'm picking up on is not a happy energy. There is some kind of sadness, there is some kind of disappointment, or some kind of regret which is associated with their family life, or some kind of wish fulfillment that has not been possible. So although it is actually a card of wish fulfillment, it is a positive card, but if I'm getting a message from this card which is negative, then I need to interpret it that way. Now, in theory, if you just open your notes and say, oh, 10 of pentacles, it's a happy card, you're happy, you're this, you're that, you're satisfied. No, the client will be like, no, I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what is going on in my situation right now. How did you come to this conclusion that everything is fine in my family? It's not. And in your mind, you'll be thinking, oh, but 10 of coins is a very happy card. This is what I had studied in my course. 10 of pentacles is a card of wish fulfillment, or some completion, where, I had learned that 10 of pentacles is like, getting what you had worked for and finally being happy and contented. It means that you are only conveying the messages that were written in your theory or your notebooks. You are not actually conveying the messages that are coming out intuitively. I hope I was able to explain the difference It can get very technical at times, because the deeper you get into this, you know that you're literally just scratching the surface, or you're literally just exploring the tip of the iceberg. So that is why it's a sincere request to all tarot readers that if you think that you can just attend a small workshop, you can just jot down a few notes or start, reading the theory, and you can become tarot readers, I'm really sorry to burst your bubble. Uh, you need to really, really, really invest time and effort and energy into studying tarot if you want to go deeper. Okay, if you just want to do fun readings and it's not going to impact anybody's life in any way, decisions in any way, then of course there is no end to it. You can just go buy an oracle deck and just get messages for yourself and be happy with that. But sometimes there are cases of divorce, there are cases of abuse, there are cases of self harm and extremely serious issues, extremely serious things that people are going through. And for them, if you're going to just pick a card and say, oh, in theory page of pentacles means this, and I'm just going to tell them what is written in theory, it does not work that way. You're not helping them. In fact, you're doing exactly the opposite. If you want to do fun readings, it's all right. If you want to do very serious readings, the kind of cases that I am handling, the kind of clients that I talk to every day, their situations, their problems, they can be extremely heavy and serious. And it is a huge responsibility. It is a huge responsibility. So you have to be very careful. You have to really work hard. You have to practice every day, and only then you will be able to connect with the cards. For days and days, when I pick up a new deck, I keep it under my pillow, and I keep pulling one card every day and studying the elements of that card, studying the image, studying the color scheme, the background, what kind of images I'm getting from here. Everything, every single card from every deck is something that is going to give you new knowledge and information every day. That is how much you need to invest in your studies and your practice. So the basic question, like how do I select a tarot deck for which client, if you are starting out with these doubts, it clearly means that you should not be entering into professional tarot so soon. You need to practice. I hope I haven't bored you too much, because I just did not realize how time flew by, and it's already more than 42 minutes. I think it's a 43-minute video already, so I'm going to stop here. I have a doubt how many of you are still listening to this, but if you are, and if you found any value in this information, if you found it useful, found it helpful in any way at all, please do drop a yellow colored heart in the comment section, or just let me know your thoughts. If you have any additional inputs, if there are, if you're a tarot reader and if you want to highlight a few points or something that I may have missed in this 40+ minute video, feel free to drop comments, and I would love to know your thoughts as well. So I hope you have subscribed to the channel, and this was a very different video today. I hoped it helped at least one person, and whoever had asked me, I'm really sorry, I don't remember your name, but I hope you're watching this today, and please let me know if I was able to answer your questions. And I will see you again next time for another reading. Till then, take care all of you. Love and light to all. Namaste.